Welcome and thank you for joining us for the first year video for the Health Sciences program. My name is Christina and I'm part of the recruitment team here at Laurier, and I'm joined today by some of our students from the Health Science program, as well as Rob Travers, who's a professor in the program. So why don't we begin by having a little introduction.
So hey guys, my name is Akane and I'm a third year health science student.
My name is Emiliana and I am a fourth year health sciences student.
And my name is Jason and I am also a fourth year health sciences student.
And my name is Rob Travers and I'm a professor in the program and I'm also chair of the department.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy days to join us. Let's begin by talking about what the most important part of the Health Sciences program is for a first year student.
I think the most important part of being a first year in health sciences is getting acquainted with professors. So there is a very different dynamic with the student-professor relationship when compared to high school, where you have teachers for classes. And so you kind of get used to what professors do, build a relationship with your professors throughout first year because you'll see a lot of the professors throughout your 4 years in the degree. I also think first year is also a great time to get used to the school environment. As you know, Laurier takes great pride on our school environment. We have an amazing school environment on campus, so it's also a very good time to get used to that. And most importantly, I think first year is an amazing time to make friends because those friends will be with you for the next 4 years.
Yeah, going off of that, I think a really big part of just being at Laurier and in the health sciences program in general is getting involved in a bunch of campus clubs. There are so many clubs, especially within the Faculty of Science, that pertain to the interest of health sciences students and outside of the Faculty of Science as well. So basically, whatever you're interested in, there's a club for that. I personally met my best friends through these clubs and stuff as well. So that was a really great experience for me in first year. And also with those friends or with those friendships that you develop through those clubs, those can be your new study partners. You guys can lean on each other to complete assignments. They can be your new lab partners for when you're doing your organic chemistry labs or your chemistry labs. And just, yeah, those friendships can carry on through the rest of your years, like Akane said.
So I guess I can just keep going off of what Emiliana said. She made a very important point about making friends and sticking with the friends throughout the 2, 3, 4 years of this program. And I feel like it's really important because as you move further and further through this program, the courses get more focused into any aspect of health sciences that you want to focus on. And as you begin to focus, your peers are going to focus in those courses as well. So you're going to find that sure, in these first year general science courses, you're going to meet all these different people from health science, but you'll find that as you move through the years, they're going to stay with you because they're going to take the health science courses that you're in as well. From my experience, I met my closest friends in my first year biology class, and then they ended up being in my program, so they were in my health issues class. And I don't think I have had a class over the 4 years where there hasn't been at least one, and a lot of them have more than one. So it's really comforting that you move through a great program that is health sciences, and you get to be with all of the friends that you make in first year all the way up until when you walk across the aisle and graduate.
I'll just add a little bit to what's been said so far. So what I love about first year students is the dreams that you come in with and the passion that you have as students. It's a very, very exciting time where you're leaving high school and you're entering a whole new world of learning and a style of learning that is quite different than what you've been accustomed to at the high school level. So you're going to have professors who have different areas of expertise who are going to bring that into the classroom and give you a very unique and tailored form of education depending on the class that you are taking. I think one or two things that I would offer in terms of advice: connect with other students. I think that's really, really important. What the 3 students are saying here today is, turn to your peers for advice and don't be afraid to ask questions. They were all in the exact same situation that you were in just a few years ago. And, connect with the Health Science Student Association, connect with their buddy program where they hook up first year students with senior students for advice. take advantage of those resources that are available to you, and it'll help you on the pathway in terms of achieving those dreams.
Kind of
I
building
think,
off. Oh, yeah, you go, Christina. Sorry.
no, continue. I want to hear more about what you have to say.
I was just gonna say, kind of building off what Rob was talking about. So when I first came to Laurier, I actually only knew one person from my high school coming to Laurier, and I came in very, very, very nervous about making friends and how I was gonna get through the program, not knowing anybody in the entire school. But I found even within the first week, I met a lot of people who had a lot of similar interests in health sciences as me. Until this day, I'm in my 3rd year now, and my best friend, we've taken every single class together. We have the same eventual goal. And it's kind of been good because I never knew this would come, and I never knew that I would make friends this easily.
I think every single thing that we have heard so far in this conversation really speaks to the sense of community that you have as a student at Laurier. And I mean, I feel fortunate to have been a student as well, but it's just amazing the friendships that you make that last a lifetime with people who have the same interests. So speaking more maybe to the courses and the workload that you have as a first-year student, is there anything that you guys would like to share with somebody who might be interested in coming into the health sciences program?
Yeah, so most traditionally in health science, most people take 5 courses in their first year. So within a semester, you'll take math, biology, chemistry, health issues, and an elective. And then it progresses on to the second part in second semester. And I also find that the workload is obviously a little more intense than it was in high school, because now these are university level courses, but you've been prepared for that well, because you would have had to take university level courses in high school in order to enter university. So the workload is a little bit more intense, but it is manageable. Organization is just a very big factor, which I'm sure you will get used to through the course of the 4 years.
Yeah, and if I can just add on a little bit to that. So Laurier is great because there's so many resources outside of the classroom to help you succeed, especially in first year. And even if you attend those resources or you use those extra like study sessions, like our supplemental instruction, sorry, I forgot the name of it for a sec, but the supplemental instruction sessions especially, you can actually get extra credit and like bonus marks towards your final grade for going to those sessions. So you get rewarded for seeking help and using the resources that we have on campus, which is a really, really important thing as well. So make sure that you make yourself available to all of those resources when possible, because obviously the workload is heavier, but you're definitely able to succeed. The professors are always there to support you. Upper year students are there to support you and your friends that you make as well. So yeah.
One other thing that I want to add on here is that in the first year courses that you're going to take, a lot of my experience going from high school to university is always the fear of being thrown into the deep end and not knowing how difficult these courses are going to be and how I'm going to adapt from a high school level education into first year university. And I found that this health sciences program gave you a really, really strong foundation in core concepts of broad aspects of science that relate back to health sciences. And it prepares you really well for when you move on into your second, third, fourth year, where you really begin to concentrate and study in-depth health sciences. And I feel like without the first year foundation that I got from all these different courses that I took, because it's such a structured first year and you don't have many electives, but I found that to be an advantage to the student because again, you just get such a strong foundation and you carry that throughout your entire university education.
Also to add to what to what Emiliana was saying, with the supplemental instruction program. So I am a supplemental instruction leader for biology on campus. So you'll see my face if you choose to come to Laurier in September. And essentially what supplemental instruction is, it's kind of an incentivized program by professors. So professors realize that the content is an extension to what you learned in high school, but university intensity can be a little more intense than what it is in high school. So in order to help the cohort of students that will be taking that class, we hold sessions every weekend. So usually on the Sunday, where you can attend, and we essentially review the content from the prior week before. We incentivize these programs by giving out extra marks. So normally we'll have a couple bonus marks that could go towards your final grade in the class, so that it's both a bonus for you and a bonus for the professor, because she's able to check and clarify that everybody is fully understanding what she's or he is teaching.
I just want to pick up on something very, very important that Jason said about the fear of being thrown into the deep end in your first year. And I think students often don't know that their professors' doors are open and they can reach out to us at any time and say, I'm struggling. You know, we have 2 undergraduate advisors in health sciences, Dr. Vance and Dr. DeWitt-Orr, and they are there to really help students through these, you know, muddy waters when they find themselves thinking, this is new to me. You know, I miss my parents, I miss my dog, I miss my cat, whatever the case may be. You know, I miss home. There's an adjustment period that comes with entering university. For some students, it's very straightforward and they go through it, and many others find it challenging at times. And, you know, what I would say to you as department chair is that, you know, we're friendly. We want you to share those concerns with us when they emerge, and don't ever be afraid that you're feeling a particular way, because others, many others, most others have felt it before you as well.
I
That's
definitely
great.
agree with that.
I think it's common for most first-year students to experience a little bit of those fears and that transition coming to university, but we will never leave you to figure it out on your own. There's always going to be supports, and we're very fortunate as Laurier students and graduates to have those opportunities available. Now, I know there's so many opportunities as a Laurier student that you have within your program, but maybe you could tell anybody who's interested in health sciences about an opportunity within the program, either something that you're looking forward to experiencing or something that you have experienced that really excites you.
Yeah, so I can speak for that. I believe that there's a lot of experiences that are present within the health science program. For example, with me, straight out of my first year, I started supplemental instruction. So I've been a supplemental instructor since my second year, and I'm now in my third year. So I've been doing that job for 2 years. That's allowed me to further my understanding of biology, opened a lot of doors in terms of anything. If I would want to do anything in the biology field, I can also branch out to that field now as well. And I also believe that there's a lot of experiences for research, or a lot of opportunity for research, because straight out of my first year also, I was able to connect with professors that were my professor in first year. And because I had built that relationship up with them in first year when I was getting acquainted to the university experience, they remembered me. And I also find that professors tend to remember students if you build that relationship with them, which is a beautiful part about being at Laurier, because we have that nice community feel. So that if you're able, or if you ever want to reach out for a research opportunity, they're always willing to discuss.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely lots of opportunities for research and student employment if you're needing that throughout your journey throughout this program. In terms of research, I've done both a directed study and I'm currently working on my senior thesis, which is a really great opportunity as a health sciences student. Now in my 4th year with my senior thesis, I'm kind of doing my own independent research project under the supervision of Dr. Todd Coleman, which is one of the other professors of the program. And that's really allowed me to kind of dive headfirst into the research experience, know exactly what the process requires and the kind of work and dedication that is required of someone who's pursuing research, which has really opened my eyes to all the possibilities that can come from that. So, yeah.
Yeah, just to add on to Ethne and Emily-Anna's point, my experience with the entire research process, it has built off of different acquaintances. So in my 3rd year, I took social determinants of health with Dr. Rob Travers. I really liked the work that he was doing and the way he taught, the way he was a professor. And I reached out to him, and that led to a directed study. It progressed further to a summer job opportunity as a research assistant, and then that progressed into currently an undergraduate thesis where I am doing my own project under the supervision of Dr. Rob Travers, and I'm really loving the work that I'm doing, because it just it's so interesting, and the field of social science in with health sciences it is so important because it has so many different determinants on one's like biological health and so many other factors. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but it's just really interesting, and I'm just it just built a whole process, and it's great. And I feel like any other larger institution, all these different research positions, they might not be available to undergraduates. So Laurier, what I loved about Laurier is that we're so undergraduate heavy that there's limited amount of master's students because we're so undergraduate heavy that there's open research positions for undergraduate students because professors still need assistants to do their own projects, to publish their own papers. And it opens so many doors to undergraduate students. And especially in this health sciences program, our professors are always working. They're always trying to progress their own work, which is fantastic. And that opens so many doors to different student opportunities.
Just to add to what Jason was saying, I remember in my first year, I came in and I heard about the research aspect of what happens in health sciences. And I do not want to personally be a researcher, so I always questioned why so many people were doing research. But research is a great opportunity to gain exposure, as Jason said, to all these different aspects of sciences. So for example, if there was one particular aspect that really, really interests you, all you would have to do is essentially find a professor within our Faculty of Science that specializes in that field of research and essentially reach out to that professor. And normally what will happen is you'll have a sit-down meeting with the professor, talk about the interest or talk about the field, and it kind of just builds along from there. And also research is another great opportunity because everything that we know as scientists was also developed from research. So you're kind of at like the fundamental level for learning science.
I just want to build on what Akane is saying, that you might be wondering, why is research so important if I'm doing a health sciences degree? Well, if you think of your future, one day when you're a nurse or a physiotherapist or a chiropractor or a doctor, health policy person, whatever field you find yourself in, you're going to be using evidence to make decisions. You know, how do I treat this patient? What's the latest, most successful medicine to use on this particular condition? How do I treat an injury? You know, there is 12 proposals in front of me, all seeking money for different kinds of projects that would enhance the health of low-income communities in the face of COVID. How do I decide which one to fund? All of those questions that face you in the future in your career demand that you have research skills and that you're able to sift through evidence and make really good, well-informed decisions about which kinds of evidence to use. And you will leave Laurier a very sophisticated researcher. We will promise you that.
I think that skill of developing your ability for research and having opportunities to work and network and add experience to your resume for after you finish your time at Laurier, that's really incredible opportunity. And I'm so impressed to hear that so many of you have actually taken advantage of that opportunity. So good for you guys. So last but certainly not the least important question. I know, again, it's going to be so hard to narrow it down to just one, but could you share with me your favorite first year memory as a health sciences student at Laurier?
I think my favorite first year memory was getting out there. So in high school, I was not involved at all. I just did purely academics and made sure I got good grades, and that was it. But I kind of came to first year with a different mentality. I saw people around me, so the peers that I made in first year getting involved, and it kind of sparked that fire within me to also get involved. And once you get involved at Laurier, because we have that community feel, you're able to be remembered and build a great friendship and a relationship with professors. And it just makes you feel kind of loved in the community of Laurier. And it gives you hope for the future about what you want to do, and the fact that you have great people and great professionals backing you all the way throughout your undergrad.
Yeah, for sure. My favorite first year memory, it kind of starts off as a funny story. I wanted so badly to be like the first year representative on the Health Sciences Students Association, but unfortunately I got rejected from that position. But I made it my mission all throughout first year to get onto this club in my second year. And lo and behold, I got onto that club. I really went to all of their events. In particular, my favorite event was Conversations in Health, where basically we bring in a bunch of different health professionals from any kind of field that you can imagine and have them come in and talk to our health sciences students about what they're doing, how they got there, and some advice that they can offer future students who are pursuing those careers. And that was just a really eye-opening experience to see all the different fields that you can go into after this degree. And now I'm the president of the Health Sciences Students Association. So just seeing my progression from first year into fourth year is pretty crazy to believe. But yeah, so getting involved with that club and going to their events that honestly really help you succeed as a health sciences student was probably my favorite memory in first year.
Yeah, so getting involved with extracurriculars in my first year was definitely a strong memory of mine. Conversations in Health, another one. That event put on by the Health Science Students Association really put me on the path that I currently am on now to try and navigate towards my future career. And I'm very excited that all it has shaped out over the past 4 years because of that one event. So I'll never forget that event and the people that I talked to. But yeah, going on to extracurriculars, part of a bunch of different clubs just to get my foot in the door and meet a whole bunch of new people. I'd like to think that I'm a people person. So I was like that in high school, and I knew coming in that I was gonna be who I am. And Laurier gave me the best opportunity to do that. And it has shaped out. I am now the co-president of the Faculty of Science Students Association, and that was that couldn't have been done if it wasn't for the people that I've talked to, the people that I've met, to give me the confidence to run for a position like that and getting elected. So that's something that I will remember for a long time. But another important thing that I remember in first year was learning about the co-op program. I know that a lot of students in science, they kind of think that co-op is only for business, but there's so many work opportunities in the science program, and as a health sciences student, you are open to that. You can apply after your first year for that only entry route, and then you do 2 work terms. And I love learning through my work, doing a whole bunch of different positions in the health field, and I really feel like that is a strong opportunity given to our students, and it is a first year memory of learning about that process, applying to that process, and eventually getting into that into the co-op stream.
Kind of adding to what Jason and Emiliana were saying, I think a very good memory of mine from first year was kind of being a first year student and seeing positions that I knew that I would really like to have because I thought it would be a good fit. For example, becoming a biology SI or joining the emergency response team on campus, for example, or even being a researcher. You kind of sit in first year and there's so many opportunities in front of you. And you obviously can't do them all, so you kind of pick which ones you think you would fit best into, or which ones you think that you could learn the most from. And because there's always that community feel, there's always guidance as to how to get into those positions. So for example, in my first year, I saw our emergency response team walk around on campus, treating people for medical issues throughout the campus. And I was like, okay, like I really want to do that job. And I reached out to a prof, and she actually directed me to the coordinator's position. And now I am an executive on the team. And even with biology SI, for example, I used to attend biology SIs every week. And I just used to love the fact that there was an upper year student, not a professor, actually teaching me this content. And I thought I'd really fit in nicely to the role, so I applied for the position, and now I am the biology SI. So at Laurier, I kind of like how no goal is ever out of reach. You kind of just reach out to people, and they point you in that direction, and you may just end up filling the role.
No goal is out of reach. I really like that.
Yeah, that's gold.
Start saying that.
Rob, how about for you? I know you're not specifically a recent graduate or a current student at Laurier, but from a professor's perspective, is there anything that really sticks out to you that you love to see with the first year students when they come into health sciences?
Absolutely. I get the pleasure during orientation week of walking into a big giant lecture hall and welcoming everyone to the health sciences department. And it feels like I have this opportunity to set the stage and to set the tone for what I see as one of the key strengths of our department, is that it's a department where students really support each other. It's there's such a tremendous sense of cooperation among these students, and of sharing and of collaboration, and of not regarding each other as competitors who are going to be competing for the same spaces at med school, but are peers that at times need help, and they are there to support you and to help you. And I love setting that tone because it's how we feel as faculty members. It's, I think, why our students are so incredibly successful when they leave Laurier. And it's something I look forward to immensely every year, is walking into that room and saying, you know, welcome to Laurier. You're some of the top students in the university, but you know, here's how we do health sciences, and it's done in this collaborative, really wonderful way. So that sticks out for me for sure.
I think we probably have a pretty good idea of, in a sense, of what it's like to be a health sciences student at Laurier, and especially being part of that community for such a tight-knit group of students. So thank you again so much to our students and to Professor Rob Travers for joining us today. And I hope that you enjoyed this video and that it gave you some insights for what it might be like to be a health sciences student at Laurier as well.